been looking into Islam for a while and kind of like what I hear and read. So I have kind of practicing Islam. What? You mean you have become one of those bad guys?
مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين والله سميع عليم إذ تقول للمؤمنين ليس لك من الأمر شيء أو يتوب عليهم أو يعذبهم فإنهم ظالمون الله أكبر.
The name Islam was given by our Creator in the last and final testament, the Quran. Torah was the Old Testament. Bible was the New Testament. And Quran was the last testament. And the word Islam was given by our Creator in the last testament.
Are they not the people who kiss the ground 5 times a day?
So, what's up with this weird way the Muslims pray? They seem to be kissing the ground, and they do it like 5 times a day. Isn't that pretty weird? Well, actually, if you look at many of the prophets of the Old Testament and the New Testament, they appear to have prayed similar way. For example, Old Testament, Ezekiel 11:13, it says, "Fell I down upon my face and cried with a loud voice and said, Ah, Lord God." 2 Chronicles 20:18, Old Testament. And Jehoshaphat bowed his head with his face to the ground, and all Judah and the inhabitants of Jerusalem fell before the Lord, worshipping the Lord. Old Testament, Ezekiel 9:8. And I was left, and I fell upon my face and cried. Old Testament, Joshua 5:14. And Joshua fell on his face to the earth and did worship. Old Testament, Nehemiah 8:6. It says, with lifting up their hands, and they bowed their heads and worshipped the Lord with faces to the ground. Old Testament, Numbers 16:20-22. Moses unto Aaron, and they fell upon their faces and said, O God. Old Testament, Exodus 34:8. And Moses made haste and bowed his head toward the earth and worshipped. New Testament, Matthew 26:39. And he, Jesus, went a little further and fell on his face and prayed. New Testament, Matthew 17:6. And when the disciples heard it, they fell on their face and were sore afraid. Old Testament, Genesis 17:3. And Abraham fell on his face, and God talked with him. Old Testament, Genesis 17:17. Then Abraham fell upon his face and laughed. So, it looks like most of the prophets of the Old Testament and the New Testament seem to have prayed similar way the Muslims are praying today. Isn't that interesting?
Hey, Muslims are not allowed here. Oops. Sorry, sisters. I thought you were Muslim.
So, what's up with these Muslim women wearing veils? Is it really necessary? Shouldn't they not be subjugated by being forced to wear veils? Well, actually, if you look at the Bible, Corinthians 11:5-6, you will see that, but every woman that prayed or prophesied with her head uncovered dishonoreth her head, for that is even all one as if she were shaven. For if the woman be not covered, let her also be shorn. But if it be a shame for a woman to be shorn or shaven, let her be covered. Well, looks like even the Bible encourages women to wear veil, not only the Muslims. Don't get me started with the beards of the Muslims. What's up with that? Actually, if you look at the Bible, Leviticus 19:27 and 21:5, the King James Version, Cambridge Edition, it says, "You shall not round the corners of your heads, neither shalt thou mar the corners of thy beard. They shall not make baldness upon their head, neither shall they shave off the corner of their beard, nor make any cuttings in their flesh." So, it looks like beard is not only in Islam, but the Bible also talks about keeping beard.
I always thought Allah was some kind of a new god living in a black box in a place called Mecca in Saudi Arabia.
Oh, what is Allah? Is it a moon god living in Mecca in Saudi Arabia? No, 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 no. The Aramaic word for God in the language of Assyrian Christians is Ilaha or Allah. Arabic speakers of all Abrahamic faiths, including Christians and Jews, use the word Allah to mean God. The Christian Arabs of today have no other word for God than Allah. What kind of God is Allah? Let's hear it.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم.
In the name of Allah, the entirely merciful, the especially merciful.
قل هو الله أحد.
Say, He is Allah, who is one.
الله الصمد.
Allah, the eternal refuge.
لم يلد ولم يولد.
He neither begets nor is born.
ولم يكن له كفوا أحد.
Nor is there to him any equivalent.
كانتا رتقا ففتقناهما وجعلنا من الماء كل شيء حي أفلا يؤمنون.
Have those who disbelieved not considered that the heavens and the earth were a joined entity, and we separated them and made from water every living thing? Then will they not believe?
وجعلنا في الأرض رواسي أن تميد بهم وجعلنا فيها فجاجا سبلا لعلهم يهتدون.
And we placed within the earth firmly set mountains, lest it should shift with them, and we made therein mountain passes as roads that they might be guided.
وجعلنا السماء سقفا محفوظا وهم عن آياتها معرضون.
And we made the sky a protected ceiling, but they from its signs are turning away.
وهو الذي خلق الليل والنهار والشمس والقمر كل في فلك يسبحون.
And it is He who created the night and the day and the sun and the moon. All heavenly bodies in an orbit are swimming.
بأيد وإنا لموسعون.
And the heaven we constructed with strength, and indeed we are its expander.
والأرض فرشناها فنعم الماهدون.
And the earth we have spread out, and excellent is the preparer. Not be grieved by the greatest terror, and the angels will meet them saying, "This is your day which you have been promised."
يوم نطوي السماء كطي السجل للكتب كما بدأنا أول خلق نعيده وعدا علينا إنا كنا فاعلين.
The day when we will fold the heaven like the folding of a written sheet for the records. As we began the first creation, we will repeat it. That is a promise binding.
Astronomers have just caught a star in the act of devouring one of its planets. BD plus 48740, a red giant they observed using the 9.2-meter Hobby-Eberly telescope at the McDonald Observatory in Texas, appears to have the fumes of a scorched planet in its atmosphere. This is consistent with a rocky world recently destroyed. Could the same thing happen to Earth? Yes, indeed, says Alex Volchan, a member of the research team from Penn State University. A similar fate may await the inner planets in our solar system when the sun becomes a red giant, some 5 billion years from now. Researchers who specialize in stellar evolution have long known that the inner planets are in danger. The trouble starts in the distant future when the sun's core runs out of hydrogen fuel for nuclear fusion. To keep the fires burning, the sun will begin to fuse hydrogen outside the core, in a layer closer to the stellar surface. This will turn the sun into a red giant at least 200 times wider than it is today. Mercury, Venus, Earth, and possibly even Mars could be engulfed.
يسأل أيان يوم القيامة
He asks, when is the day of resurrection?
فإذا برق البصر
So when vision is dazzled,
وخسف القمر
and the moon darkens,
وجمع الشمس والقمر
and the sun and the moon are joined,
يقول الإنسان يومئذ أين المفر
man will say on that day, where is the place of escape?
كلا لا وزر
No, there is no refuge.
إلى ربك يومئذ المستقر
To your Lord, that day is the place of permanence.